Welcome to the BakeLikeAPro YouTube channel. In today's really fun and fast video, I'm going to show you how to make some very easy cinnamon rolls. In today's recipe, I am using one of my pizza dough recipes. I will put a link to that in the description box below this video. The original recipe will make 2 of these dough balls. We're using one of those today, so half a recipe. We're going to need some butter, some cinnamon, and also some brown sugar. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. Our first step, I'm just going to get down a little bit of all-purpose flour. I'm just going to gently take my dough right out of my container and get it right on there. And then I'm just going to start flattening it out, and I want to make a circle out of this. I am going to use a rolling pin. I just want to get my general shape, and then I'll switch over to the rolling pin. And I just want to get this flattened out. This is a really nice dough. Now I'm not too concerned about using this dough, even though it's not a sweet dough, because we're going to be adding a lot of sugar to these cinnamon buns. Or little cinnamon croissant. So I'm going to use a slightly different technique today. So you want to get this nice and thin because we are going to be rolling these up. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. You can see how thin this is. Very thin. It's probably about 1/8 of an inch thick. So I like that. That's good. You're also going to want to have your oven set, preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I get this question a lot. Can I put things into a cold oven? No, never. When you preheat your oven, you always want to turn your oven on to the temperature that is indicated in the recipe. In this case, we're going to be using 350 degrees. So what you want to do is turn your oven to 350 degrees and let that go. In North America, most ovens do have a chime or an alarm, so you'll hear a little bell going off when the correct temperature has been achieved in your oven. When you hear that little buzzer or alarm going off, then you know that your oven is at the correct temperature, and then you can place your item into the oven at that point. I'm just going to go really easy today. I'm just going to grab the back of a spoon. You can use a little silicone brush if you want, but sometimes this is just a faster way to go. You can see how easily this goes on. You just want to get a liberal amount all over. So there really aren't any measurements per se for this recipe, which is kind of nice. You can just do this on the fly, put as little or as much as you want. Just going to get like that. You're just basically painting this on. I think that's good. See, I didn't use that much. That's good like that. And then our next step, we're going to put on the cinnamon. So you just want a liberal coating of that as well. I think that's good. Perfect. Then we're going to put the brown sugar on, but I'm just going to put it into a bowl so that I have a little bit more control over putting it onto the dough. So I've got it here, and then I can just break it up with my fingers just to get all the little lumps and clumps out of it. And this way you just have a little better control of actually getting it on. You can just, as you're putting it on there, you're just kind of pushing your thumb and your fingers together. You're breaking it as you put it on. And again, as little or as much as you want, no rules. And of course you can put raisins in here as well if you wished, or walnuts, anything that you like. I'm going very, very easy for this recipe today. I think that's good like that. Perfect. And at this point the aroma is amazing. The butter underneath is starting to melt some of that sugar and the cinnamon, and oh, it smells really good. I've got a little pizza wheel here, and all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start cutting the dough just like I would a pizza. So all I'm doing is just cutting this into little triangles. And I think that looks good. All we're going to do is we're just going to start rolling all of these up like this. Just like that. And then you want to take it and gently place it down with the little end on the bottom. And just push it down, just like that. I'm just going to wrap, just slowly wrap. Just like that. So I'll just do this one more time so you can just wrap it right up. Just like that. And then right onto your little tray. So you get the idea. So I am just going to whip through these and I'll be back in 1 second. Perfect. And now I'm going to pop these into my 350-degree Fahrenheit oven. I'm going to bake them until they're golden brown, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the final product. So here we are again. I baked these for exactly 20 minutes in my 350-degree Fahrenheit oven, and they smell amazing. So I'm just going to get these off right away because I don't want them sticking to the pan. These are extremely hot right now. You just want to get them off of that little bit of sugar that has oozed out onto our parchment paper. So just get them off while they're still warm. Oh, these smell really good. And our last one. And there we have it. So these are extremely hot right now. I gotta let them cool down. I'm gonna let them cool down for maybe about 15 or 20 minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll break into one and show you what they look like. So this is about 15 minutes later. These are still warm, and I want to break into one to show you what it looks like inside. But I want to go over one thing before we start. These were made with a pizza dough, so you'll notice that the rise that we got is not like a really puffy rise. And that is because in a pizza dough, you use much less yeast than you would in a traditional cinnamon recipe, in a cinnamon bun recipe, that is. I make these quite often, and the reason I do is because I find they taste much like a churro. If you really like churros, you're gonna like these. That has a similar kind of texture. That said, let's cut into one. I want to show you what they look like inside. Look at this. Can you see that? Nice and moist on the inside, and you got a nice little crunch on the outside. Really nice. It reminds me so much of churros. Really, really good. Yum. And there we have it. That's really, really good. So that's it for this really fast video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you wish. I really do appreciate that. If you're on Facebook, you can check me out. Facebook.com/BakeLikeAPro. So that's it for today's really fast video, and I'll see you next time. Yummy.